some of you have asked me for a VeChain update, so here we go. So I believe we are still in a second wave move down, and as you can see, we went below the 0.786 support level, which is not really good, but I mean, most altcoins did that. I mean, not all of them, but most of them. So VeChain is still looking quite good in my opinion. I mean, we should still go in a third wave move to the upside if we hold support levels. Now, do not forget the invalidation zone is at 0.013 cents. So if we get below that, then we will drop to new bear market lows, and that's not going to be the most bullish thing. Now, of course, you could say that, hey, here we went into a 1-2 setup and it failed. And maybe you might be right. I mean, of course it did. It failed because of the pandemic, but was it supposed to fail? I don't think it was. So you cannot really compare what happened right here to what's happening right now, because I mean, this 1-2 setup wasn't even that strong. So, and by the way, I'm talking about this one right here. And yeah, the VeChain pretty much has the same structure as Cardano, and it did the exact same thing in the previous cycle as Cardano. So this was a 1-2 setup. It tried starting a third wave move to the upside, but then it went sideways for a few months for some reason, and then it failed in the pandemic. So yeah, it's not a questionable chart. It definitely makes you wonder if we will copy what happened right here. Now, to remind you of my wave 3 targets, well, before I do that, let me actually tell you what will confirm that the second wave move down is actually in. So basically, we need 5 waves up to form a first wave move to the upside right here. And this first wave move to the upside will only be the first wave move of this main third wave right here. And I mean, we already tried forming a 5 wave move. As you can see here, we went into a 1-2 setup, and I believe I talked about this. But I mean, it did not hold the support levels, so it's irrelevant now and we have to restart it. So yeah, like I said, this 1-2 setup got invalidated. So yeah, and also we did not really get a crazy bounce after this low right here, even though it went oversold. So yeah, this whole move is kind of questionable, and it makes me wonder if we will get another low before we actually try going in a third wave move to the upside. If we do go in a third wave, then the first wave right here, like I said, should go above the previous first wave high, and it should look something like this. So the first wave maybe will get to this level, then we'll get a second wave, a third wave, a fourth wave, and a fifth wave, and only then I will be able to confirm that the second wave move down is actually in and that something more bullish is going on. Until then, I mean, this structure could get invalidated at any moment. Now, of course, we would still have to go like, let's say, another 40% down to invalidate the move, but in crypto, 40% is not a lot, so you have to keep that in mind. Now, if we form this first wave move to the upside, then I believe the third wave could get into this target region right here between 12 cents and 20 cents, but I mean, it could go higher. I have seen third waves go way higher than that, and honestly, I would not be surprised for the third wave to break the previous all-time high right here and maybe even go a bit higher before getting a fourth wave correction and then a fifth wave to finish the cycle. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Now, we also have to look at the bull market support band. So VeChain has actually tested it multiple times, unlike some other altcoins, which is good, but we never really got above it. Even though we tested it, I mean, we tested it right here, right here, right here, right here, and right here, and we did not manage to get above it. But, as you can see, in this second wave move down, the red line of the bull market support band got above the green line, and actually it got above it right here, and that confirmed that we were about to get a second wave move down. And what do you know? After the red line got above the green line right here, we got a huge correction. But let's also check out what happened before that. So, as you can see, here when the red line was above the green line, the price was going down. But when the green line got above the red line, even though in the short term it did not really do anything, I mean, as you can see, after it went above it, the price literally did nothing for an entire month. But after a month, the price just exploded to the upside and the green line stayed above the red line until the first wave move high was confirmed to be in. And I mean, you can compare what happened right here to what happened in the previous cycle if you really want to. For example, here in the pandemic drop, the red line got above the green line and it stayed there until right here. And after the green line went above the red line right here, the price exploded to the upside until the red line got above the green line again, and then it stayed above it for some time and the price did not really do anything until this happened right here, and then the price just exploded to the upside. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Now let's go on the weekly. The weekly is looking quite good in my opinion. I mean, the dump that we got right here is not looking that bad when you look at it from a weekly perspective or even a monthly perspective. So yeah, and also the RSI is at a very, very low level right now. And we have not been at these levels in a very long time. I mean, since these lows right here, which were the bear market lows. So this might be a sign that something more bullish is about to happen. Now, as you can see, here we got above the yellow line on the RSI, but then we got rejected by it, and we are still below it. But the RSI is currently going sideways, so it's not going down anymore, which is a good sign. And maybe this means that the RSI has bottomed and that we will get another pump very, very soon. Now, of course, that's all speculation until something actually happens. So, you know, be careful. Now, let me talk about my bull market targets. So basically, I think VeChain is capable of going in a third wave move to the upside to the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement at 0.47 cents. So I think VeChain could realistically go to 47 cents. And right now, if we check the VeChain market cap, it's at a market cap of $1.7 billion. Let's say 1.8 billion. And as you can see, its previous all-time high was at around 16 billion. And if we do some math, let's say we get to 47 cents, that would be a 21.7x from where we're at right now. And that would put the market cap at around $39 billion. And is that unrealistic? Well, considering the fact that in the previous cycle it went to a market cap of 16 billion, I don't think that's unrealistic. I think that's actually quite realistic. And we might even get to the 2.618 at 75 cents. I mean, technically, that could also be a realistic target. And from where we're at right now, that would be a 34x, which would put the market cap at around $62.5 billion. Now, it's up for you to decide if that's realistic or not, but do not forget, in the previous cycle, I mean, as you can see, in 2020, which was a halving year, the market cap of VeChain was 160 million. I mean, of course, it ranged between, let's say, $400 and $100 million for most of its lifetime. I mean, right there. And it went from like a few hundred million to a few billion dollars. So could this repeat itself? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see what happens. Now, like I said, I'm expecting an altcoin season in maybe October to November, and let me explain why. So if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it's currently above the 50% extension of the previous high of 2020, and I believe it will touch the 0.618 extension and hit a Bitcoin dominance level of 60% by, let's say, the end of September, and then I believe that's when the Bitcoin dominance chart will top, and then we'll get an altcoin season when the Bitcoin dominance starts dropping, because it cannot go up forever, you know? Things that go up have to come down at some point, and I believe the 60% level is a very, very good target for this cycle. And as you know, whenever the Bitcoin dominance chart goes down, altcoins start outperforming Bitcoin, and we have seen it happen in the previous cycle, and I see no reason why it could not happen again. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. Now, if you look at the total market cap, excluding Ethereum and Bitcoin, you'll see that right now it's still looking quite good, and we are still up quite a lot, and we are still not above the previous all-time high. So I believe we could get a new all-time high on this chart as well, and right now, I mean, this whole setup looks like a 1-2 setup, so if we get a third wave move to the upside, let me actually give you a target zone for that. It could theoretically get into this region right here. Now, of course, you can say that maybe this here was a 1-2 setup, and this was the third wave, and this was the fourth wave, and the only thing that we have left is a fifth wave move to the upside, but I don't think that's the case. I still think the previous all-time high will be broken and maybe even doubled or tripled in this cycle. And if you look at the RSI right now, I mean, the RSI is very, very low, which means that if we do go up right now, there is a lot of room to the upside, which is a good sign. But yeah, like I said, right now I cannot confirm that the low is in, and that's pretty much all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe check out our new YouTube memberships, and make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.